Zidane Deity. Electro Ninja here. As promised, both yesterday and for a while, we have reached 100 subscribers, which means it's time for Build the Adventure. Now, in a previous video, which is actually called Build the Adventure, and it is in the same playlist as this video is, I stated that that video was going to be the deciding factor for what this video is. Since then, I have changed my mind. There are a multitude of reasons for this, but the primary one is the fact that I think that I can do a better job now, as well as the fact that very few people actually answered that. So I didn't want my choices to be what decided everything. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video, because honestly I am really happy to actually be able to do this. So the first thing to actually note is that I will be using my player's handbook to actually help me design this character. I will be talking with my artist, who I will be announcing in the video where this series starts, on how the character will look. And basically, this video is you guys get to decide how this character looks and acts. There are polls up in the corner, so if you guys want to actually choose, then you can actually help us decide this character. The first choice that you have up there is what gender the character is. Now, the reason that I asked this is because of the fact that it's an important decision. You can't really draw a character perfectly until you actually know what the character's gender is. And that's kind of what we're doing here. Obviously, we can't go off everything. And most of the stuff that is going to be in here that I'm going to be asking you about is going to be stuff that you guys can decide, like I said, up in the iCards. But it is the same stuff that you could choose in the previous video. Of course, as for the comments, this video, I do not want theories for the theory review. You can still put them, obviously. You can still put #theory review and put them in there. But this one, I would prefer if you guys avoid from using the comments for that, and instead focus on answering this open-ended question. What do you want the character's name to be? Now, obviously, if you are going to do this, of course, do give some explanation for why, as well as what your choices were for the character. So this actually helps a lot with working the character into the whole situation. Sometimes a name will work great. It sounds like a cool name, but as you think about it, you realize, oh, that name doesn't quite work for this character. Such as a good example is, you wouldn't necessarily want to call a character, I don't know, Lily. That's a bad thing to actually explain. But most of the time, you wouldn't call a boy character Lily. Which is weird because they actually did that in Survamp. If your comment gets a lot of likes anyways, and it's about a name, we may just choose it anyways because it's actually going to be really funny. Obviously, I will probably be liking a lot of your things. Now, as for the next thing, the race. Like I said, we will be using the player's handbook to actually choose the races. So for those of you who are not aware on the races, we will start off simple. First, dwarf, elf, and human. the 3 most common races in any game. Very common. Obviously, you guys can choose them. I'm not going to judge you for them too much, but honestly, they're kind of boring, and as long as I can actually put them in, then I will, but I'm actually going to, if the other options are available, I'm going to be, if I can only put like 4 options in the poll, then I'm going to be using the next few. Next is obviously the halfling. Short, little creatures, basically hobbits. Great characters, and actually can be used pretty well in certain adventures. While most of the big things can't actually like go and do some crazy things deep underground, they can, surprisingly. Next are the actual uncommon races, which of course are Dragonborn, Gnomes, Half-Elves, Half-Orcs, and Tieflings. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what Tiefling is, most of the other races are pretty self-explanatory, but Tieflings are basically demons. They have horns, they have tails, they're pretty cool creatures, and I've actually made a Tiefling bard, and it's one of my favorite characters. But that's a lot of fun things to do, actually, with that. I will say this about the half-elf. I'm not going to put the half-elf into the options, no matter what is possible. The main reason I am doing this is because I want to actually give you guys another option. If you guys get any specific race to be exactly half and half, then what I will do, and this is a very, very special situation, if you get 2 races to be half and half, then I will put both races into the character. Basically, that character will be half whatever and half whatever. So if for some reason you guys choose, hey, I want this character, half of you guys, or an equal number of you guys say, and it's the majority, obviously. A good majority of you guys, and it's even, say Tiefling and Dragonborn. Then congratulations, you got half Dragonborn, half Tiefling, and it's gonna be an amazing character to actually work with. I'm not sure how my artist is going to be too pleased about that, but honestly, I think it's gonna be a really fun thing to actually do. As for the next few options, the next option I'm going to actually be talking about is one that is not actually going to be in there, but it was in the original option. Well, actually, I'm going to be talking about 2 options. First off is the option that will not be in here, and that is what standing does your character have? Basically, are they rich, are they poor, or are they somewhere in the middle? The reason I'm not going to be having this one in compared to the other one is because of the fact that this isn't really something that's super important. The character is an adventurer. If you guys get a lot of likes on a comment that's like, actually, I would like for this character to be something else, then we will work on that. We will see what it is. Like I said, for the most part, it is going to be an adventure-like thing. Your character is going to be a basic adventurer character that you guys decide what is going to be happening. But I don't really want to have the social standing as being a part of it because really there's not much that's really going to be said about that. The next thing, this is actually a thing that is kind of important for developing the character, but beside that, it's not really important. If you guys don't vote on this, I would not judge you. It's completely understandable. And that's basically where is the character from? Is the character from the big city? So they could literally walk down the street and say, I'd like to join the Adventuring Guild. If that's the case, cool. We'll work with it. Otherwise, we're just going to have to say that they're walking into the town. Basically, what it is that the artwork that I'm actually going to be requesting is going to be the character looking up at an adventurer's guild. Pretty straightforward stuff. The main reason for this is because the fact that it basically makes things easier on my artist, and we don't have to worry too much about exactly what's going to happen. So, yeah, there's that. And now for the last choice. The choice that is actually extremely important. For those of you who are unaware, the basic D&D stuff is medieval-ish times. And honestly, if you guys want that, that's cool. That's what this option is. What time period is this going to take place? You will still have all the options as before, but of course, this is going to be a fantastical world with some aspects of whatever time period we choose. Now, obviously, I've just stated that the first one is medieval, basic, and you'll see there that it has parentheses classic D&D. Next is the Midwest. This is basically a Western-like thing. If you've ever seen Puffin Forest's adventure about the time-ripping dynamite, then there you go. That's your answer. That's kind of what that kind of adventure would be like. Next is modern. This is basically going to take aspects from our world and incorporate them into this adventure. Well, yes, there are dragons. This is going to be kind of like taking the soon-to-be movie Onward and basically rolling with it. There's obviously going to be some differences, obviously, but it's something to actually think about. If you guys want that, then cool. Then our show can be kind of like Onward. And the final choice, future. This is basically going to be a lot of techy, cool stuff. A good example of this is my future book, The First Rift Hunter, which is going to be about a character in the future who travels through space a lot. Basically, if you choose this adventure, you're going to be a space adventurer. You're not going to be just some average adventurer. No. You get to go into space and meet with really cool other races. Obviously, there will be some cool races that I'll be incorporating into the story as we continue. Now, now that you've seen all of the choices, and I've explained all of them, now I want to give you some basic info on what this whole adventure is going to be like. The first choice that you guys are going to be able to choose is, what is your, class? This is not going to be something that is going to be in this video. And I'm sorry about that. Basically, the reason I'm choosing this is because of the fact that, honestly, there's not too much that we can go on for this. There are a lot of classes, and by having it be something where you go to the Adventurers Guild and you want to choose your class there, it's actually something that can really make the adventure a lot more fun, I think. By getting the chance to choose the class, I believe that you guys will enjoy it a ton. And honestly, I think you guys will look forward to the episodes even more. I also want to just say that this series is going to be going from a weekly series like it was going to be to a monthly series. The main reason I am doing this is because of the fact that I don't want to overload my artist, as well as a few other things. But primarily it's so that we don't get overloaded with this project. This project is something that's going to take a lot of time. We're going to have to weigh all of the choices that you guys have made and make good choices for ourselves and build the adventure off of them. A few things to note, though, is that I will be looking at your choices in about a week or two. The reason that I'm doing this is so that I can say, this is the set thing. Sorry if you didn't get your choices in now, but that's basically to help out with making sure that things don't get insane. Hopefully you guys will understand that. Like I said, it's most likely the choices will end in exactly 1 week, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that from that point on. Now, please make your choices. If you don't, then we can't do this series justice, because this whole series is about you guys building the adventure and having fun with it. Otherwise, there's really no point in it. Now, I would like to say that this is the 100 subscriber special series. We will go until I believe that the story has reached its conclusion, but we will also be doing another version of this. Either when we reach the end of this arc, or when we reach 1,000 subscribers, whichever comes last. And while I know that that might upset some people, I think that it's the best option because it basically allows us to take a little bit of time to actually judge what's going to be going on in the future. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys will understand for this, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this series. Another thing about the adventure is that you guys will be able to choose your companions. There will be lots of people that come up to you and want to join you guys. And it's your decision. Do you want them to join your party? Sometimes it's a great decision, but other times it will prevent you from getting a truly amazing character down the line. Maybe they'll be like, no, we really need to do this thing. We need to save my sister, blah, blah, blah. And you just miss out on something that's really cool. That's not necessarily going to happen all the time. In fact, probably the best option is to recruit as many people as possible. But certain characters, they're evil. You will see that there are characters that, when you meet them, you may be like, I don't know if I trust this guy. Trust your gut. That is the important thing to actually take in mind here. I'm going to, in the very first video, in your first decision ever, you have to decide 5 things. 1, your class. And the other 4, those choices are who you bring with you. And I won't tell you who it is, but one of those characters, they're evil, and they're going to, if you choose them, they will stab you in the back eventually. And another one, depending on what gender you guys choose in this video, that character will be a possible love interest if you guys want to actually go that route with that character. So keep that in mind for that video. I won't tell you who these characters are, but yeah, that's insane. And I really hope that you guys will actually be interested in this. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. And of course, like I said, please make sure to put in your answers up in the iCards as well as down in the comments. But anyways, guys, and of course, if you are new, please subscribe and ring that notification bell because this series needs a lot of people to make these decisions. But anyways, guys, I have been Election Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on.